carry umbrella and some heavy weights for the tornadoes that are going past through Nashville. Flying late. You're flying the last flight coming into Jacksonville. Yeah, right. Well, you come out to Raleigh. Then you got to drive. Well, I think they had a direct flight from Mexico City and one from Cabo San Lucas over the weekend, didn't they? Have they left Montgomery yet? Okay. Are we live? Okay. You ready?
And I love you so much. Oh, you're best. Oh.
Well, good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly now.
I'm not talking
no,
to you.
No, you're not. You're Lee Wrong. She's become Asian.
I'm not talking to you.
She has become an Asian overnight. She is now known as Lee Wrong.
We're sitting here arguing over the interpretation of a sentence, and Rayford's claiming that he's always right and I'm wrong. So,
well, in this case,
okay.
I am always right. You're wrong. Let's go ahead and
okay.
The question deals with real ID and passports and foreign travel. So here the question is that Lee has on her mind. So her interpretation of the sentence is,
let me go back
to
that article.
Her interpretation of the sentence is you've got to have a real ID and a passport if you're going to travel internationally. Internationally. That's her interpretation of what she read. So anybody want to jump in on that one? After May 1st, 7th, or whatever date that is.
Now, see, I don't have the page up anymore, so I cannot go back and read what it said.
You can't verify that you were wrong.
See.
You were wrong, trust me. Yes,
well, you've done a great job at making sure that I know that.
You have to have a passport to travel internationally. Right. You do not have to have a real ID and a passport to travel internationally. Got it? You can also use a passport to travel in this country in case you can't get your real ID in time. If you got a passport, just take your passport. If you have a real ID after May 7th, you can travel in this country. And there are 4 other states, I think, that they're what they call already compliant with that system, that whole real ID system, New York being one of those. I guess they screen people a lot better in New York.
I don't know. I still have that page up.
Thanks to my partners in crime, that means y'all.
Yes.
Kelly and Lee Wrong.
And Rayford's always right.
And to a...
I'm the referee in the middle, even wearing black and white.
Me and Peter Wright, we're always right?
Very appropriate, Kelly.
Yes.
And we had a guest host and a visitor yesterday, a regular on the show, Chris Marks, and for taking care of things so I could leave early enough to make a trip south of the border.
Yes.
Not that border. The one about 110 miles from Jacksonville. Funeral services were yesterday for my great aunt, who would have been 99 in June.
In peace, great aunt.
Amazing woman, a fabulous Southern cook. And even if you don't like chicken and dumplings, I never did. But she will change your taste buds after 2 forks filled with that dish. They were some kind of good. Every time she heard I was coming, that's what I had. That and field peas. Not the field peas that you buy in the frozen food departments of a place in anywhere that says they're field peas. They're not field peas. She had real field peas from the field. The older generation is getting more scarce with every passing year. I found that out. 50 years ago, there would have been a couple hundred kinfolk plus friends and neighbors to attend most any funeral. Today, those kin are scattered to all parts of this country, many of them living and working in other parts of the world. About a dozen or so of those showed up yesterday, paid their respects. The youngest was about 60. There are a lot of other relatives in the area, but health conditions keep them at home, except for doctor's visits.
Mhm.
Such is the price we pay as we get older, and oldest. So it's it's just amazing because because I've been going to funerals for apparently ever down there. That's where my mother's folks were from or are from, where she's from. But every funeral, you got relatives coming from all over, everywhere in the area, but they weren't that far away. People generally stayed pretty close to home.
Mhm.
They did not move all over the countryside looking for the great escape or the great wonders of the world or whatever. They were available, usually, obviously, within a few hours driving distance. But there just are not that many of them. There are just as many relatives, but they're not there. They're not close enough to go to a funeral. So
This is sad.
it
too.
is a sad thing, but it is the price we pay these days. And I guess we kind of got out of the habit of going to a lot of funerals, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that happened during COVID.
I don't really care to go to funerals. And
I don't either because there are people that I knew.
yes.
I don't go to funerals for people that I didn't know.
Well, not only that, I just like, acquaintances, people that I know, people that I've known or whatever through the years. And I would kind of like just to remember them for who they were to me rather than,
That's what I do.
right.
I looked at her yesterday. I seldom go to a viewing, but they're
Right. Well,
was.
viewing is more,
But I did yesterday because it was open casket at the funeral.
right.
And prior to the service, because it's tradition to close it up in a lot of places, and it was there. That's a good southern area, Mullins, South Carolina. So it's a interesting area. Been there many times, of course, over the decades,
Yeah.
many decades, and it's still a
aunt.
quaint area. Great aunt, my last living great aunt. So
I heard that.
I know my stomach's growling.
was that you?
That was her stomach growling.
Mine's not growling.
Mine?
Because on the way back,
Mine will be in sympathy for Lee. Here
on the
in a
way
minute,
back,
so.
on the way back from South Carolina yesterday, I stopped over in Burgaw.
Oh,
What'd you get?
Well, I got a roll of wire out there, fencing wire. Did you see that?
No, I didn't look though. But what else did you get food
I
wise?
saw that and I was like, what are you doing now?
Well, I stopped at the pig there because it was handy and I didn't want to have to make a second stop. And they also have heads for men and women, restrooms.
Gotcha.
Yes.
No, I know.
And we'd made it that far.
Okay.
So instead of making two stops, I just turned in and out. Got me a couple of squash and a couple of zucchinis.
Oh,
And let me explain something to y'all.
Sounds so good.
I christened the Blackstone yesterday.
Did you really?
I did. I thawed those two lobster tails out as soon as I got in the door. Cleaned and did put the second and third curings on the Blackstone before I started cooking on it.
Right.
Time I got ready, I had those squash and zooks sliced up, seasoned, and the lobster tails ready to go, split and taken out of the shell and put on top of the shell
Mm-hmm.
with salt, pepper, butter, and
Now I'm really hungry.
paprika.
Mm.
Put those on top of this Blackstone grill that my wife gave me, and covered them with I was trying to figure out how I was going to cook them.
Right.
So I put them right on the grill first, meat down, let it sear, turned it back up with the shell down, and then I put a one of those disposable aluminum pans, which I've got a bunch of, put that on top of them upside down to let them cook like they would be in an oven,
Did you add a little bit of steak to it?
Oh no! What do you need? Steak? When you
I
got
would-
lobster?
Well, it's.
Oh no!
I always
Don't-
love
don't-
having a
I
bite
know-
of both.
No, I'm not going to ruin that. But those, I tell you what, I could have eaten just the veggies if I'd had nothing
Oh
else.
yes.
Those
Grilled
vegetables
veggies are the
grilled
best.
like that, or like wow.
Have you ever taken a little bit of some tomato wedges and grilled those too? Just slightly grilled them.
No,
like
I have
that?
not, but I have done.
Very
You
good.
ready for pineapple on the grill? Have you ever done that?
I've had.
Oh,
I've not done it myself, but I have had pineapple
it
on the
is the
grill.
sweetest. It
It
brings
is
out
so good.
all the sweetness in the world. It'll make you even nice. You'll
I
be so
agree.
sweet.
And talking about food, I thought of something because you're going to. Well, we're all going to be. You're the cook, men who cook coming up soon,
Yep.
and
Seafood grande.
Okay,
I don't know what's in it yet, but it's
I thought about something, so I was gonna throw it at you
Yep.
later.
shoot.
No, I can't do it on the air. It's got to be a secret.
Nobody else is going to gather.
No, we're not telling the secrets.
Radford, why are you trying to tell everybody stuff?
Why? Why?
Yeah, Kelly, tell them.
Bring it on. Just bring it on. I mean,
No.
I've got nothing to hide here.
What, we have plenty to hide. Our recipe.
Well, I'm not getting a recipe.
Well, if you give them any hints to it, that will allow someone to come up with their own version. Stop. Change the subject.
Their version's not going to be as good.
We're
That's
making
just-
hamburger steak
Yeah. Oh, that would be good.
on the
though.
Blackstone.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
going,
that would actually be good.
actually, I'm going to go get me a greased pig and cook him. Put an apple in his mouth to keep him from squealing while I'm
You're
cooking.
gonna name the pig?
Yeah, delicious. We call her delicious.
Wow. Moving on to other things.
What's going on?
Did you finish? Did you see Biden's speech yesterday?
I saw it last night.
What
I
in
said,
the world?
dude, just go back and retire,
I
okay?
had turning up the
retired.
TV to try to make it loud enough I could understand some of what he said.
Well, at the very beginning, he's talking and the music was still playing.
Well, they did that for.
I mean, I don't think that was his.
They did
No,
that.
that wasn't
They did
his-
that for
no.
our sake.
Bless his heart is like he just came out of nowhere and he's gonna come save the Democratic Party. I'm like,
That was the most rambling speech.
go home and write a book.
Joe,
And I haven't watched the whole thing.
Joe, Bub, you just need to take it back to the barn. The ride is over,
Yeah.
and you're not helping the party. You've already heard it enough. My personal opinion. You are a significant part of the reason that the Democrats are imploding.
I don't think he personally hurt the party. I think the Democratic Party hurt themselves by
Supporting
backing
him.
him and supporting
Same-
him. Knew that he was not up for the
He
task.
should never have run a
No.
second time. First time, it got him over the hump. If they could have found a viable candidate, of which Kamala Harris was not a viable candidate, they should have known better. They should never.
Well, I'm sure there's
Ever
plenty of
have done
people
that.
can say the same thing about our side too, but
Our side, I don't have a side.
you
I don't like either.
But Biden, I mean, thank you for your service. What all
Go
done,
home and
whether
stay
good
there.
or bad, whatever. Your time is up. Let's go enjoy life now. But that speech yesterday, I was just like,
Go to the beach and get some ice cream and sit back and relax and enjoy it.
you know, you're
Seriously.
squinting your eyes. Why do you squint your eyes when you're trying to hear what somebody's saying? I'm like,
I do
what?
that a lot. When you get old and decrepit, you do funny things. Like you shuffle when you walk because you don't want to raise your foot up so high because your other leg might not save you by itself.
Mm.
That's why people shuffle.
Radford, I do that now. What are you talking about?
Well, one leg may be collapsing on you.
No,
You're-
because
you're
she
afraid.
falls a lot, so she
Oh.
shuffles. Remember, Kelly likes to
Gotcha.
fall.
All right. This is all too often back on the local scene with woods fires. The one that originated in the greater Sandy Run training area along Highway 50 last Monday is still being a pain in the butt. The
Mhm.
fire has gradually burned through nearly 1,300 acres of dense, inaccessible vegetation, currently only 50% contained. That's what it was last week. The thing is, it's continued to burn. 1,300 acres now. Camp Lejeune firefighters are on the scene around the clock and have been joined by members of the county's volunteer department or departments. I'm not sure how many. I know Hall's Run is there trying to make some headway.
Mhm.
Blustery winds and a lack of significant rainfall have contributed to the problems the firefighters are facing. That sucker just will not die. If you're traveling in the areas south of Jacksonville, anywhere, and that depends upon where the wind is blowing, you can expect lower visibility with thick smoke hanging around near the ground. Depending upon the wind direction, as we have experienced this week here, not today, thank you, you may smell that wonderful acrid stink of stale smoke in Onslow and surrounding counties. It must be going somewhere else this morning because it was nice and clear when I opened the doors this morning, and I could take a walk with
Yes,
the doggy
it was.
without going, oh.
I know when I got out and the truck here, I was like, oh, okay. Because the last couple of mornings we couldn't even open the door.
No, it was
bad.
terrible. Trying to bring in some fresh air this morning.
Mhm.
I brought in nice fresh air.
Yes, you did.
And by the way, when Lee arrived this morning, I was over there on the radio because yesterday on my drive, I turned my radio on, of course, radio's on, and I was listening to.
I knew that's why you took your Jeep.
Yeah, of course it is. And so, of course, when I was listening to one of the radios, and for you hams out there on the 20-meter band, I heard this really strong signals coming out of Australia.
Mm.
But the guys were so
Nice.
backed up with big stations trying to talk to them. My mobile was not going to get through. It'd be,
Yeah.
I tried for a while, then I gave up. But this morning, about 6:20 or something, I turned the radio on over there and I tuned
could
in.
hear
And there was a guy, and I called him, and he heard me. He's
Hmm.
110 miles north of Melbourne.
Nice.
Yeah, just have a nice little
Yeah.
conversation
I came in, it
with
was like,
Rob.
Mhm.
there was so much.
Rob was looking at my bio on one of the pages that's online, and
Mhm.
he said, "You're a diver." I've been a diver. I haven't dove in several years, but the Great Barrier Reef is a wonderful place.
Oh, nice.
That's too far to go. I can't make it there.
Why not?
It'd take me 3 years.
Well,
It's a long walk.
fly.
Have you been following the news lately? Yeah, think about it.
I know it. Well, I've got to get that chart and post it for everybody. The
Kelly's
one
been-
that
Kelly's
NTSB
following the
put
news a
out.
lot. Have you gassed up your car yet, just in case?
You'll be fine, Kelly. Just when you get on board, go ahead and get that drink in hand.
Do it in the bar before you get on board.
I don't even think my flight leaves at 8 a.m. Is the bar even open that early?
It's an
Mimosas.
airport.
Mimosas.
Bloody Marys are the traditional
Yes.
for people who are afraid to fly.
Oh, I don't drink a Bloody Mary.
You will.
I'll just get me a Jameson and keep going. So,
Cold front's acting up a little. Here we go again. And while it
Oh.
won't be really too cold, it got down to about, what is it now? 41 here in the
It's chilly.
backyard.
yeah.
It was 43 in Southwest this morning. The system will stir up the ocean a bit today, offshore out to 20 nautical miles. You can expect northwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, frequent gusts to 25, becoming westerly 10 to 15 this afternoon, seas 3 to 5 feet. They'll come down a little bit this afternoon, 2 to 3, very doable, but they're going to still be kind of close together. But you should be able to do it if you get it right boat. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Thursday, tomorrow, better. Northerly winds 5 to 10, becoming easterly in the afternoon, seas 2 feet. Smooth tomorrow, but they're 4 seconds apart, but they'll be smooth. Sounds and rivers light chop. If you go out there, give me a call Friday and let me know how the fishing was. I hope you go catch a bunch. There's a big, nice Spanish mackerel out there. Friday, southeasterly winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming southerly 10 to 15 in the afternoon. 2-footers again, sounds and pretty nice out there, but they will be 3 seconds apart, kind of choppy. Sounds and rivers a light chop, increasing to a moderate chop in the afternoon.
Today it will be sunny, high near 70. Winds from the northwest 7 to 14 miles an hour with 21 miles an hour gusts. Tonight, mostly clear, low of 41. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 72. We should only have 6 mile an hour winds. So that's no gusts tomorrow. Yay.
Maybe the fire departments can get that thing contained better.
I don't know, but
Hope
tomorrow
so.
night it will be partly cloudy, a low of 46. And on Friday, where things just kind of start to warm up, sunny, high of 77. But the gusts will be back.
When you're working for this president's men, any of them, you know there's a problem when you're not only told to leave, but you're escorted out of the building. The
Ooh.
top advisor for Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth
Yes, I know. I do
is
the same.
linked to leaks coming out of the Pentagon. That's a no-no and can result in a problem that time will never cure. Dan Caldwell has been placed on leave for an unauthorized disclosure of information amid this investigation that's been going on. That part has been confirmed, but no details are forthcoming yet. Caldwell has been critical of the large number of U.S. troops in Syria and Iraq, and he wants to reduce the footprint the United States has all across many parts of Europe. He wants us to bring our people home and don't worry about it. What do you think's keeping the enemy at bay? Our presence everywhere, for one thing. Last month, the Defense Department announced a probe into recent unauthorized disclosures of national security information and said it planned to use polygraphs to determine the source of the leaks. And that's what they've been doing for the past few weeks, that investigation. And presumably the polygraphs began immediately. The results of the investigation forwarded to the Secretary of Defense. DOD Chief of Staff Joe Casper earlier said that anyone who is identified as the source of the leaked information will be referred to the Justice Department for further investigation and criminal charges. Caldwell, he's kept his mouth shut since then. He should have kept his mouth shut before, and he's ignored requests for interviews. Caldwell's closeness to the Defense Secretary was pointed out in the leaked Signal chat on Houthi strikes, in which Hegseth named him the Pentagon's point of contact for the offensive campaign. That chat was divulged when National Security Advisor Mike Waltz unintentionally added the Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, to the discussion, and he blew the whistle. Pretty sure the current commander-in-chief will consider some rather serious consequences for those that cross that kind of a path. I mean, what are you thinking?
You know better.
It was a stupid screw up with that leak on the Signal chat. First of all, golly, Miss Molly, why do you do things like that? Don't you check it? If you're in a position like that, I try to check all of my anything that I include a lot of people on, which I very seldom do.
Right.
I double check it.
Well,
because I can't trust that the world won't find out. And it's nothing that they can't find out, but I don't want them to.
It was an unfortunate incident. It's not the first time it's happened within an administration.
No.
It won't be the last time.
No, it will be the last time for some of these people.
Oh, sure.
Caldwell's done.
Yes.
He's put a fork in that dude. He's already well done, and he's on his way to oblivion. You won't be hearing a whole lot from him, except when his trial comes up. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
There are things when you are appointed to a high position such as Secretary of Defense, like Hegseth, and then you surround yourself with people. This guy supposedly was well known to Pete and well respected by Pete. And then he gets in there and he said, well, the first thing I'm advising you to do is pull all the troops out. What? We don't need that many people there. We just need to pull them back in. We need to rein them in. That all sounds well and good. That would be great if we did not have to have troops stationed all over everywhere. But the first place I'd start is Okinawa. Why did we put troops in Okinawa after World War II? To keep Japan at bay? Or is Japan a threat to us anymore?
No, not that
Well, I
I
thought
know.
we were moving out of Okinawa. We're closing a lot of the bases there. Yeah.
Didn't we do that many, many
How
years
many?
ago?
I think we're almost
That was over 70 years ago. We started all that stuff.
Yeah.
How long does government take to move, to go an inch?
Maybe they're keeping them there to keep them close by to the other areas. I don't know.
I think it's a great vacation spot.
Yeah.
All I ever hear from friends that have gone to Okinawa, oh my God, the best 3 years of my life.
I lived there. It was amazing. I
took
love
my
it.
family
But
with
I didn't
me.
live on base. I lived off
The
base.
beaches are great. I mean, I learned to dive there. The diving. If you haven't dove Okinawa, oh, you've missed it. I mean, I've heard that
The
story.
beaches are amazing.
This
there.
one says
Yeah.
there's approximately 54,000 military personnel primarily reporting to the Indo-Pacific Command based in Hawaii. And then it says, yes, we still have troops in Japan. So
Yeah. Why? What
why do we
for?
have so many?
Well, to get close to like mainland Japan, which is where Robin grew up, and Robin graduated high school in Japan.
Uh-huh.
Um,
How much Japanese does he speak?
very fluently.
Does he?
Hmm.
I've heard him say also a couple of times, but that's about it.
He speaks Korean, obviously, Japanese, and he can even speak some Tagalog because he spent time in the Philippines too.
Mm.
That was as a fad, but no, he
Wow,
grew up in
money.
Japan, in Korea. That's where his
I
mom
don't
was
think
from.
he ever grew up, did he? He's
He
still,
okay.
he's
He
still a
lives
kid.
there. Yes,
He's still a kid.
yeah. But I mean, that was mainland Japan, not Okinawan. But
But
I could see that because of proximity to Russia.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably because
China.
of that. I'm just like,
Well, I don't think we're ever going to fully give it up. Although I did hear we were giving up Okinawa, which
well, that's
it's
what I
close
heard
to
years
China.
ago.
Yeah, but I think there's been a lot of, and part of that in Okinawa have been some incidences with the Marines to the local population.
Yes,
rapes,
that was one
assaults.
of the
Yeah.
things. One of the reasons they wanted them gone.
When I was there, it was years and years ago. There weren't really those kind of incidences. So,
Oh,
That you
reading
read
this-
about.
well, yeah, I lived off base, so I didn't live on base.
I just read this right here. While the keeping troops in the two countries is required by Congress in the fiscal 2020 defense
Yeah.
budget bill, and all more than 80,000 U.S. troops are deployed to Japan and South Korea.
Mhm.
In Japan, U.S. maintains more than 55,000 deployed troops, the largest forward deployed U.S. force anywhere in the world. And I just feel like it's just they're setting up bases over there to be close.
Well, we've had the bases there for a long time.
Yes. They're
But-
keeping them. You're talking about right here. It said that the United States obligated $20.9 billion in funds to maintain its military presence in Japan over the last 4 years.
Obligated it to whom? To the military.
Mhm.
Why?
On December 14th of 2024, this AP article talks about the partial transfer of U.S. Marines from Okinawa to Guam began on December.
Guam is a U.S. territory.
Yes.
I understand
They
that.
They started transfer members of the 3MEF, and apparently there was some kind of plan agreed between Tokyo and Washington in April 2012. 9,000 of the 19,000 Marines are to be moved out of Okinawa. And then 4,000 will go to Guam. It didn't say where the other ones are going to go. I guess they're planning to keep some. I was thinking they were going to, close everything, but no. I mean,
No, that's
it
not
makes
gonna close
sense. You're
everything.
going to need to be able to get there, somewhere else close.
Mhm.
So,
Well, we are also part of Japan's defense force.
Mhm.
Right.
We're there to defend them if necessary, part of the
Mhm.
results of World War II.
mhm.
So we didn't really want Japan coming out with you got to remember how times were. That we didn't trust anybody. We certainly didn't trust Japan or Germany. We trusted Russia. How did that work out for
Oh,
us?
Lord, that did not work out well at all.
And so Russia and China, oh yeah, well, that was a smart move.
Yeah, I can understand why they're over there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's location. It
Mhm.
allows, us to
Rapid deployment.
rapid deploy.
Right.
How many do you need?
Well, I know when
80,000? Is that what they say?
I was 19 in
Yeah,
Okinawa.
I don't know why so many. Of course,
Mhm.
I'm not attuned to military and
No.
why they do that, but I can understand why they have bases over there.
Mhm.
It's to help maintain that free and open Indo-Pacific too. So
Now we can speculate on here all we want, and we can have
Right.
our opinions in here about all we want. But when you got the advisor to the Secretary of Defense going behind the Secretary of Defense and El Presidente's back.
Right. No, that's
and,
wrong.
and leaking
It's wrong.
information and telling everybody else that, you know what, we don't need all those people there. Ruh-roh.
And who are you? Right.
He's done.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
He's unemployed. Well, he's on leave right now.
He's as cooked as my turkey is on Thanksgiving Day after 30 minutes in the pot of 350-degree oil. You're done, dude.
Yeah. And you know what?
Got a passport, you might want to go use it.
You'll probably never be able to get another job in that type of position because you can't be trusted.
No, your security is done.
Yeah. Trust is important.
Can you imagine them? Can you imagine a defense contractor of any sort, which would be somebody you might want to go apply with?
Right.
Why would they do it if they're a contractor with the United States? Once you find that out, once the United States find out that you've employed this guy who's been blackballed, well, he will be been blackballed by the government. That contractor will get rid of you in a heartbeat because you won't be contracting with the government anymore. They got to have trust in their contractors as well.
Well, I just think China's now facing a 245% Trump tariff. Wonder how long this is going to go on before they finally come to terms.
Forever.
Well, Rayford, I got one for you.
Okay.
Do you remember that medical helicopter crash in February?
Yep.
Okay.
Not too well.
Have you seen that the NTSB has released a preliminary
Which
report?
is kind of fast.
The night vision goggles the pilot was wearing fell off. And
he reached for him.
He reached for him and they fell off his lap.
It's when he reached for him that things went haywire.
Things on a helicopter, flying a helicopter with a stick or whatever you've got and control is a whole lot different than flying an airplane or driving a car. Any little move you make can result in a very drastic, immediate reaction that you don't want.
Resulted in a rapid descent and crash into a line of trees as the pilot tried to regain control before it landed on its side in the water. The pilot and the flight paramedic.
That's not a landing. That's a crash.
It is a crash. The pilot and the flight paramedics broke their legs, and the paramedic was trapped. Whatever that means, whatever the part about being trapped means.
You know, my first thought on that when I heard that story about his night goggles, don't they make those to where they're pretty secure on your head?
Well, he was saying apparently.
What, do you have like sunglasses?
He wasn't wearing them. They were on his lap just in case
he had them. Okay. No, they came off his helmet. Said he was flying on autopilot around 1,000 feet when the pilot.
Helicopter on autopilot?
Yes.
Holy
he
crap.
said in the report, NTSB said the helicopter was on autopilot at 1,000 feet and his night vision goggles came off his helmet. He told investigators he grabbed the goggles case and put them in a battery pack inside the case. And then the goggles rolled off his lap. He reached for them and then
he hit
something happened. Yeah. It descended rapidly and crashed into a line of trees with him trying to get control. I'm sure he's in trouble.
Yeah, they did charge pilot error on that one.
Yeah.
So
everybody's got broke legs.
That's a costly error.
Yeah. I agree.
Y'all remember that when if they take me in and tell me again that I'm flying.
We're going to drive you. Kelly's going to drive you.
I'll get you there.
She'll get you there in 10 minutes.
Unlike I did last time, I will not surrender my weapon to my wife before I leave on the EMS unit. In other words, they won't take me that way.
You give me a holler.
We're just going to slap you with one of those needles, put you out.
It's Dr. Rose.
You can cuss us later.
She
only heard that.
Dr. Rosemary doesn't. She says, "Oh, well, they're cussing who? Who's cussing who?"
Rayford's claiming he will never ride in a helicopter again. It's a health emergency.
A medical helicopter.
And
y'all can drive.
I was going to say that.
I will walk. I will catch a bus.
We said Kelly could drive because she can get in New Bern in 10 minutes.
Sooner or later, there's going to be. Well, we drove it in 17 minutes, but I was to the other side of New Bern in the middle of the night.
But
we had blue lights.
Yeah, you had blue lights. Kelly doesn't have blue light, but she can get there faster.
I'll find one.
Telling you right now,
if it make you feel better.
I rode with her to New Bern not long ago. We were there, and it was like going to Walmart.
That's why you can't read and interpret stuff right this morning.
Don't start with me.
How are you?
Help, Doc. All right, this is Dr. Rose's time now.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Sometimes I wonder how certain conversations came to be. This would have been one of them.
Yeah, well, sometimes when Lee Wong is wrong again.
Did you hear my sigh?
No. Yeah.
I'm just the referee.
We're not allowed to be wrong. Kelly and I are not allowed to have our opinions.
Oh,
Opinions
Kelly's
are not,
going to have an opinion.
opinions are fine. Being wrong.
I can promise you I'm going to have an opinion.
Now, have you agreed with me yet?
I do sometimes, yes.
I mean,
Let's talk
I'm
about
talking
health.
This situation there. Okay, we'll talk about health. Is everybody healthy in your neck of the woods, doctor?
Lots of allergies.
Yes, I
the
can't
phones
take
rang
it.
a lot more than I thought they would yesterday. But they have sinus infections and allergies and goopy eyes. So yeah, we've hit that time of the year. But it's warmer and it's nicer out, so
Yes.
everything balances out.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to figure out the American Journal of Medicine. Did you get that diagnosis about goopy eyes in there?
That's right. That's right. Otherwise known as conjunctivitis.
Yeah, well, I like the goopy eyes part because that's something I can understand. I never did know what conjunctivitis was.
Oh, now you're making me want to.
I'm going to make my eyes burn.
Yeah.
Oh,
So anyway, other than the allergies, we got the spring here, so hopefully we've put the flu season behind us, but the flu season behind us doesn't mean people can't get the flu. So I never understood that. I didn't know there was a season for things like the flu, because that's a virus, right?
Yeah. We do definitely have the flu season behind us, and the flu is seasonal, and so it dies out, it dries out, and there are very few cases of the flu right now. In fact, I think we only saw one last week.
Oh.
So it does decrease, and it's doing what it usually does because it was a more traditional flu year. There have been years where it was going into May and a little bit in June.
Really?
But it was I think probably a different strain when it has done that, or a combination of strains. But this year was a more traditional year, and we thankfully that I recall we didn't have any hospitalizations due to the flu, but now we've moved on to really bad allergies and sinus things, and it's a more traditional year than what we've had in the last few years, which is good.
Yeah, these allergies with sinus and the pollen and all that stuff, and hopefully that'll be disappearing soon. But there will be something else to show up, no doubt about it. But with these allergies, spring and summertime allergies, and can that let's just take cats and dogs if you're allergic to those kinds of things. Can that lead to something else more serious, perhaps? Particularly dealing with your lungs.
Yeah, absolutely. All that, especially in kids, they don't spit and out the phlegm they have. They don't blow their noses, so all of that goopy stuff stays in their airways and stays in their sinuses, and that's what causes more upper respiratory infections and bronchitis and pneumonia in them. Is just that the kids aren't prone to doing that, and they just keep all that there. Even when you teach them to, when you're 3 and 4, you don't do it. They just swallow it back up. And so older people that are not cognitive and may have some senile sort of symptoms, they do the same thing. And that's why the older folks, because of their immunity and because they don't spit things out, they're more prone to having pneumonia and bronchitis and bad sinus infections. So I think the thing of it is to make sure that you do your best to suction that out, or to remind grandma, you got to spit that stuff out, grandma, so that they don't have the sinus infections. You might still get it, but it won't be as bad.
Yeah. I know that as a diver, of course, we always use our lungs a lot. We use a lot more of our lung capacity. We try to anyway, especially if you're doing some free diving, holding your breath and doing that kind of routine. You want as much real oxygen, fresh oxygen in your lungs as possible. But according to when I was studying for the test, I mean, many decades ago, we only use more than half, but there's a big chunk of our lungs that we never fill up with fresh air, like 15% or 20% or something like that we don't use unless we are a runner or we're actually trying to use it, breathing in and breathing out real deeply.
That's true, and that's also the other part of that whole, stuff gets stuck in your lungs more, is because children breathe a lot more shallowly. That's why if you count the kids breathing, they're breathing maybe 26 to 36 times a minute, whereas adults will probably do 12 to 16. So adults just naturally are using much more of their lungs, not breathing as fast nor as shallow. And children will breathe faster, but they won't use as much.
Huh. That's the feeling that I had. And I think that old stale air is just like old stale air, in a room or anywhere else. It needs to be freshened up in your lungs too. That's my interpretation of what they were telling me in the classes.
Yeah, and that's a great reason to make sure that you stay active. Even children will use more of their lung capacity if you make them, run and be active and exercise them. And so that's a good thing to start from the beginning of your life. And if your lungs are used to using more of themselves and having and getting out more of their air, that's something that they will develop throughout their lives. So make sure that your kids are active. A lot of these kids that are, on their phones and they're overweight, you're building not only bad habits, but also bad physiology, bad lung use for the rest of their lives. So look at your kid, and if he doesn't look like he's using a lot of his lungs and he's not moving around, that's something that we all need to change. And this is a good time to change it as we're going into the spring. Take them out and have them do things that exert themselves.
Mm-hmm. I think we could take a lesson from the pets. Some of us have got, and I think Lee has probably done it for her dogs, or I know we've got it for one of our dogs. He likes to gobble his food. I mean, he can gobble up a full portion in, 15 to 18 seconds. That's good for half a day. But if you get these little dishes that look like a maze, that's got little corners and things in it, you cram all the food down in there where he's got to work for it. I think he's better off like that. Maybe we should do the same thing for kids.
I agree.
Don't make it so easy for them to fill up.
I use slow feeders for my dogs, and my one little dog, he's even eating through the bowl now, so he's an aggressive eater, yes.
So,
but I understand what you're saying.
Never grab the bag of chips. That's what I tell the kids. Never grab the bag of chips. You take that bag, and if you just have to have those chips. They're not healthy for you to start, but you put a handful of them in a bowl, you close up the bag, and then you sit down.
Yep.
Never take the bag of chips. And, the same thing goes for the pet world. If you fill up that bowl, they're going to eat it as fast as can be.
Yep.
We don't want to do that for our dogs. We shouldn't do it for our children.
Hey, if I had a kid now, I'd get the kid a bowl just like you get the dog and let them work for it with a little tiny spoon.
I don't think the kid's going to use the spoon, but okay.
Well, we'll see. All right. Anything else going on medically that we need to know about?
No, and I haven't read up any more or heard any more about the measles cases. I know that a couple of kids had passed away because of it, but
yes,
I haven't heard anything else. I don't think it's very active in the news anymore. But I'm pretty sure it's still there because it doesn't just go away.
It's there because I just read somewhere, it was a generic story, there were 500 or 600 cases of measles, and that wasn't in one locale. That was spread across the country. So there maybe the hot pockets down there in Texas and is it Arizona, New Mexico, somewhere down that way. I believe it. I believe it was on the border of New Mexico and Texas. That was where the hot spot was.
goes to show that things come and go, and we have to have our the ability to look at that and think about it and think, what are we going to do about it? And sometimes by the time you have a thought process and it comes back into your head, it might be too late, and it might be your community that has one of these kinds of illnesses. So
Sure.
think ahead. What would you do? And if you haven't immunized your family, should you consider it? You should talk with your doctor and come up with a plan.
Yeah, well, measles vaccines have been around for quite a while, but so many people have stopped doing that. Once it was a requirement for kids going to school, but so many people stopped it when the measles was brought under control. Now, 500 or 600 cases, that would be an average of 10 cases per state. Are you going to risk that if one person in if 10 people in North Carolina get it and they spread it to 10 other people each? Well, it wouldn't take long to cover the state, would it?
That's right. That's right. So I think the thing is you have to have a plan so that you can protect your family, whether it's mumps or measles or a whole bunch of the illnesses that we can protect our children against.
Sure.
And yet we make the decision not to immunize, and maybe we should reconsider that.
And remember, COVID started with one person being infected.
That's true. It is a very different kind of virus, but it did start with one person.
It just takes the first one. Dr. Rose, thank you, as always.
Thank you, Dr. Rose.
Well, you guys have a very good Easter.
You
Celebrate
too.
with your families, and we'll talk next week.
All right. See you then. Bye-bye. Dr. Rosemary Stein, our really cool. I mean, she's well-rounded. She's just,
She is.
she's one of those doctors that takes care of kids, which is great.
Yes.
Get it early, get an early start. But she also gives them advice. She's got other things. She's well-rounded.
It's not just
everything
medical.
from
it's
education.
emotional advice, health advice.
Yeah.
Advice. She just, like you said, well-rounded.
Yeah.
She loves her kids.
She does. She loves them. And I know a lot of doctors that feel the same way. That's the good thing.
Right.
When you find a doctor like that, particularly family doctors, that's great. And
I agree.
Good pediatricians are tough to find sometimes. I guess it's a field that's just doesn't carry the glitz and glamour that a lot of the other medical fields carry. I'm not sure. What makes a person want to go into pediatrics?
Love of
Taking
children.
care of kids.
Well, got that.
Because you got to have like a
Patience.
desire to do that.
Well, you
Patience.
got
Dealing with parents.
Two kinds of patients. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's true. Dealing with some of those parents.
Yeah.
Quit feeding them potato chips.
Yeah. And potato chips are one thing.
No.
But when they get in the habit, especially when you got a mother and father and they're both working full-time jobs and all that sort of good stuff,
Okay.
how about the dinner time? It's so easy to pick up one of those McDonald's meals or something on the way home, a bag of junk, right?
Yeah.
Very much so.
But
Too easy.
You can crock pot your food in there before you go to work.
That's what my daughter does.
Mhm.
She will stick a chicken in the crock pot. Oh my God. She'll do
There's
that
a whole
in
bunch
whatever
of things you
she
can put in
does.
a crock pot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And after I finished cooking last night on my Blackstone,
Yes.
she stepped outside. She said, "I'm cooking." Yeah. So I walked over.
Uh-huh.
She was cooking. She'd cut up little chunks of steak, bite size.
Mhm.
She didn't have to cook the whole steak in a big thing.
Right.
She just puts them on there so she can brown them, keep stirring. And she has some potatoes sliced up and over there on the Blackstone. And then she threw the shrimp on.
That's what I'm talking about.
So she has some surf and turf and some ground stuff,
right.
potatoes.
She's been posting a lot of the pictures of what she's been cooking.
I know.
Great.
She
I mean, it
said
looks
that-
really good.
It looked really good last night.
She's becoming a master
It's
at
too
that.
bad I'd already eaten her. I would have.
Just save the lobster tail for another
It's too late. I'd already cooked those. We'd already eaten them. Got through with that. But that was always good. So
I bet it was. It sounds delicious.
I've got a few things. I got lots of things to try. Anybody else got a Blackstone? I never cooked on a griddle or anything like that.
Right.
It's always been in a frying pan
Oh,
or
yeah. No, I use a griddle.
do you?
Mhm.
Inside, it just seems like kind of a waste or something. It's kind of, to me, you got to have big old exhaust fans and
I
stuff
agree.
like that.
I don't
I
use an
agree.
exhaust fan like that, but I use a griddle.
I
I always,
agree.
whenever I pulled up to one of those diner type places and you sit at the bar at the counter
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they cook right in front of you. And they
The
cook
hibachi.
like an hibachi style thing, but they got this.
Yes,
Yeah,
big
but I
old
know what you're
flat-
talking about. That's
flat-
different. Yeah.
And then they sit up there and they could cook several people's meals at one time. Eggs, scrambled the eggs right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's almost like a
some
Waffle
sausage
House.
or bacon or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right there.
You could
in
do a
front
whole
of you.
bunch right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Phew. It just always looked and smelled so good. I always kind of thought about it, but when Candy got hers, and then Robbie decided it might be time for me to expand my horizons.
I would love to have a black zone. The problem is I wouldn't use it. My grill, I used 0 times last year.
Mhm.
Well, I'm doing hamburgers tonight.
Right. Nice.
I'm going to
It's
get out
just
of
not
work.
worth it for me to go out there and get everything set up for one hamburger or one steak.
Get your little George Foreman indoor grill. I got one
I
of those
have
too.
those. It's just, for me,
Nope, I
it's
don't.
just too much to get it all out from underneath
Well,
the
I got me
cabinet. And
A cool new grill from one day of just one Saturday morning watching QVC, and it had
Okay.
Oh Lord.
that
QVC.
dude that makes that cool stuff. I can't think of his name now, but that thing's and it flip. You can flip the side where it can be a like a griddle type or a grill
Mhm.
type. I love this
seen
little thing. I
those.
cook on it a lot.
I've seen those and always wanted one, but I have so much now
Yeah.
that I cleaned out of the cabinets, wrapped them up, and they're on the shelves in the garage because I had so
I
much.
use mine.
I
Read in
just
the
don't
Daily-
use them.
I talked about it last week. I read in the Daily News a feature story about a gentleman, actually a couple of them, but one of them is now retired. The other is going to be retired, Army, and in Swansboro. And
Yes.
I got to get his. I gotta
Did
go
you
back
get
his
up
name.
with him?
Not yet,
Mhm.
but I found Sunday when I stopped at the pig in Swansboro because that's what it said the
Yes.
chips were.
You found them?
I did.
Were they good?
I don't know yet. I got 3 different bags.
Well, you should bring them right on out. We'll taste test them.
Did I see a flash?
I thought I saw one, but there's nothing here on the screen. It might have just been a,
Somebody was flashing me.
yeah, we were just flashed.
I'll never be the same.
Rayford, have you gotten any press release, anything on the cause of death on this 63-year-old man that was found in the park last week on
No, I
April
have not.
4th?
Haven't seen anything. No follow-ups yet.
News just came out. This is the news media. It's not, but they're saying that the cause of death was blunt force injury to the head.
Yeah, probably blunt force trauma.
Yes.
Happens a lot,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Well, they are treating it as a homicide. So
Yep.
we'll just have to wait and see.
I don't like to talk a whole lot about gossip on social media because
Right.
when they call it news and it's gossip, speculation, it's
Mhm.
gossip. I don't
Well,
like
this
to get
is
into
from
that
Channel
one.
7.
I'm not
Right.
talking about that one.
Oh, okay.
But there are some questions and concerns that go beyond Facebook and other groups up there in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts.
Ooh.
Several murders that seem to connect the murders may eventually lead to the revelation that there is a serial killer stalking New England.
Ooh.
The cops across those 3 states, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, have identified remains, 3 sets of remains in New Haven, Groton, Killingland, and Norwalk, Connecticut. I guess is 4, as well as that's in Connecticut, as well as Framingham and Plymouth, Massachusetts. That's 6, and Foster, Rhode Island. That's 7. They found remains. 3 of those remains have been identified as individuals that so far, as the investigation is continuing. The other 4, they don't know who they are. Investigators have not released the causes of death or not very much information about these individuals where they found them, but they found them between March and April of this year in 3 different states. That does not mean, of course, that those 3, because they were somewhat decomposed, some of them, That doesn't mean that they were killed between March and April. I don't know how far back this dates. That's what would lead someone like me to suggest that there's a possibility of a serial killer or killers stalking that area. We've seen it in the past on the West Coast more often. And then we had that Bundy dude, Theodore, traveling all over.
Yeah.
From the West Coast all the way down to Atlanta.
Florida.
Was Atlanta or Florida?
It was Florida.
Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's where they finally nailed him for and zapped him.
He killed those college girls.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you just never know what these guys are going to look like. It's not going to look like the stereotypical, really derelict-looking individual necessarily.
Ted Bundy was a good-looking dude with a good personality. And you would talk about unassuming.
People pick him up, women pick him up all the time. Hitchhiking, whatever.
Yes.
I mean,
he had a way of conniving.
yeah.
And
And he
them.
came across as polished.
Yeah,
And like I
yeah.
said, he was handsome.
Yeah.
And
But he was sick. He had a
Oh,
problem
psycho.
upstairs.
That's psychotic. I mean, that's not even just sick.
You never know, ladies.
Yeah.
I've been to one execution, and that was in Raleigh for a lady. I use the term loosely, but even with her, as vicious as she was, killed her. I don't think it was her husband, but they went back to some other boyfriends, and she was a grandmother.
Who was this?
Velma
Oh,
Martin.
I know who you're
Barfield.
talking about. Okay, yeah. I
Oh.
know who you're talking about. Yeah. That's what I thought you
Is she
said.
the one
I
that
was making-
poisoned all her
Yep,
husbands?
that's
Yeah,
one. I don't.
yeah.
I don't think she was married to all of them, but she was.
She
they
just
were
didn't
kind
like men.
Yeah, well, didn't like those men.
Mhm.
But anyway, so she killed them, but even the morning at the execution occurred at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and a big old crowd of people out there, and they got all solemn and quiet,
Mhm.
and it's candlelight vigil, the anti-death penalty folks out there, and then the chanting, the little prayers, and all that sort of good stuff, and
Yeah.
just nobody wanted her to die. Ted Bundy, the video from the time that he got executed, there were cheers.
Oh, yeah.
There was a celebration going on outside.
Because
Right.
he
And the-
instilled so much fear.
Oh, he
when-
had.
so, I mean,
yeah, he did. And his meanness preceded him.
Yes.
And
How long was he on death row before he was killed? I got to look that
I
up.
don't think it
Oh,
was.
I meant to tell you,
that
your
long.
guy from South Carolina last week got
He
executed.
did it. So
Yeah.
he did get it, even though he was, So Ted Bundy was 42 when he was killed in 89. Electric chair. Okay.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
fried.
36 murders. When did he?
Well, he was convicted
Oh, he
of,
was convicted
of
in.
like 3 or 4, 6 or something, whatever it was in
Yeah,
Florida.
they said he.
The nurses, right?
They said he committed 36 people that they know for sure.
Sure.
Let me see if it tells how
Yeah, he
long.
confessed to 30 murders. Wow. Phew.
Oh, because he admitted it to his girlfriend on the phone.
That's
What a
right.
moron. I watched the
right,
thing
right,
If you've
right.
ever watched that thing on Netflix about him, it's very interesting.
Oh, yes. Well, it was weird, too.
He was a weird, sick,
Yeah, he'd
deranged,
revisit the graves, the
mean,
ones that he buried.
mean
Like that,
individual.
Yeah.
And people like that, there is no rehabbing them.
Yeah, it was Florida State because Robin told me that's right around the time that Robin was going to Florida State, and he said this was big news.
Well, it was big
there.
news nationwide.
Yeah,
Because he sneaked in and
yeah,
Yes.
because these girls were at the sorority house,
Mhm.
and Robin lived in a frat house. I know that don't surprise anybody, and it was big news on the campus. So let's see, he
No,
was
he-
caught in February '78.
Yes.
Um,
He decapitated at least 12 of his
yeah,
victims,
it's
keeping
psycho.
their severed heads as mementos in his apartment.
Who does that?
What a lunatic.
I'm just trying to think, how long did he? When did he go to court? All right, 79. He was convicted
Right.
for 2 of the murders, and then the attempted murders of 1, 2, 3 girls. How long? But then all right, and All right, then in 80, he stood in a different trial, convicted for another girl. And then so that's 2 convictions, 9 years. He spent 9 years on death row.
which is
Okay.
remarkable.
Yeah.
the way
Right.
things
I
work
agree.
today.
I agree with you. That's why I wanted to see how long.
We still got people on
electric
death row
chair.
here who have been on death row since, I don't know, 25, 30 years in North Carolina. And we haven't had anybody executed since 2008 or 9 or somewhere like that. Which I don't understand. I think our legislators, they're individuals up there. They all need to hear from us. Every one of them need to hear from us.
Mhm.
Those that are representing Oslo County, reach out to them. Tell them we're tired of this. We need to get some legislation out there to restart the death cases. Of course, we got that guy who's our governor who used to be an attorney general who did nothing then. And he's going to veto anything because he's a passive individual.
Yeah, it's still there.
But they need to either get them off death row completely or get them off the death row the best way possible.
Yeah, they haven't executed anyone since 2006 because of lawsuits and legal challenges that are pending. Okay, that was 2006. This
I'm
is
sorry.
2025.
That's done.
Mhm.
Why can't we?
It's 19
Yeah,
years.
Because he was only on there 9.
Lawsuits should never, ever stand on the books for that long.
I agree.
I agree.
Mhm.
If you can't get it done in 2 years and it's dropped, everything is dropped. That's part of what's wrong with our society. Legal manipulation, shall we call it?
They did they removed his brain after his death to like check for any kind of
Sure, there's a lot
abnormalities.
of dark spots in
They
it.
didn't find anything. They said that just means he was just that.
Just mean.
They called him an
Sadistic.
invisible psychopath.
Mhm.
Just mean.
Yeah.
Just totally mean.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was a law student. Why did I think I did know that. I
he
just
was
see that,
representing himself and all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff, and
He refused his last meal, it says.
would have made him throw up. I guess.
He
Maybe.
just-
Is this gonna make me look
He's like,
fat?
I'm not going to eat because
It's
I'm
gonna make me
mad.
look fat.
All right,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what it is.
I'll tell you what. I'm sure he was smiling when they pulled that.
They say he
switch.
was nervous, like his voice. He was asked to say something, and it was like, according to what I just read, he was like voice quivered a little bit.
Well, yeah, he's getting ready to get jolted.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all have been. You ever, even as a kid or what? Did
Yes.
you ever get zapped at a
Yes.
120 volts coming out of the wall somewhere?
I've done
You've
that.
never been shocked.
I have
Changing.
once, yeah. And that
receptacles.
hurt. It's spooky. Yes,
Doesn't that not
it's
just
very
like
unnerving.
make you not want to?
Yes.
Oh, can
Yeah.
you imagine the big jolt?
It's one of those things parents all say they'll do it once and they'll never do it again. You know, when a kid's putting their hand in the light socket or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
who does that? Yeah.
Well, there are people who do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Kids will dare each other to do it. My brothers did that. Don't.
are they still right?
No, were they ever? Come on now. Yeah.
Not since they
So,
did that.
yeah,
I can
like,
understand.
all kinds of shenanigans.
Well,
Well,
go ahead.
town halls.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that nonsense? Look, y'all know I am not a
I
huge fan of
sent you
Margaret
that
Taylor
video.
Greene.
Did you get a video
I
I
didn't get a
sent
video you
you?
sent me of that one.
It was
I'm watching it on here. Like she held it. Look, when are these lawmakers going to realize that y'all probably needed to stop holding town halls for a little while till it's just too much going on. And police were tasing them, and
Yeah.
some of them were protesting about that guy that down in that prison, the one that they quote
Yeah.
shouldn't
El
have
Salvador.
deported. Yeah. And so then one guy started fighting the cops. Well, you got to be done with that too.
Yeah.
So,
Well, when you
so-
play those kinds of games.
This is one, Kelly, I sent you on Messenger. It was a big fight in Chuck E. Cheese.
yes, you
in
sent me that
Texas.
one. These people,
Parents.
I can't. These
No.
parents do not know how to act.
No, they don't.
I
It's
mean,
just
Lee did send me that one, and that was a doggone disgrace.
no, Kelly.
doggone.
Oh, no.
We got another doggone.
Lee's gonna leave with this dog. Hi, puppy.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, look, he's wagging his tail. Oh, this little. See, they knew which one to bring. They would
Okay.
adopt it. They're gonna bring it for Lee.
Oh, no. You did that on purpose, didn't you?
This is Vicky, right?
Yeah, this is
They
Vicky.
got Vicky here. Vicky from the
Adoption
Adoption
first.
First.
Yes.
And well, there goes another one.
Valerie.
All right, did you bring the paperwork with you? Because you may as well get her done.
I can do it all online. No worries.
Come on down,
I've
have
got
a
the
seat.
links
Oh,
for
what a
this.
cute pup. How old is this dog?
4 months.
Oh, my Lord.
So she's going to stay tiny. So she has a little sibling at the rescue too. That's all
See, you
around.
can go get the sibling too,
Get a
Lee.
match
You
pair.
have a whole crew. Yeah. All right. So what kind of dog is it? It looks
Just a
like
little
some
Chihuahua
That's what I
mix.
thought.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. She's microchipped, ready to go.
She's
Chihuahua
adorable.
mix.
So she won't get much bigger at all.
Yeah.
She'll just
She's
fill out.
cute.
She's got all the good tendencies, not the bad ones of
She's
the
cute.
Chihuahuas.
She's pretty quiet. She's a snuggle bug.
Ah,
Yeah, she's
Do we have a
quite
name?
mellow. So yes.
Oh, I thought
What?
you said Valerie. Celery.
You know, we try to not reuse names.
yeah.
And we get so many animals. So
There are a lot of veggies out there.
there are.
So
There are.
You can go for quite a while.
We had one litter of puppies. We called them the veggies because
wow.
we had all different
You're so
theme
Hey, Celery.
names for them. Say hi,
Oh,
friend.
Oh, she's shaking. What are you doing? You scaring her?
Yeah, Lee's over there freaking out.
Aw.
Puppy dog.
Her temporary
Come here,
mama.
girl.
Hi, friends.
Well, it's just me now in here because everybody else is occupied with.
Now you know how
a
we
cute
feel
little-
when
Hey,
you start
girl.
talking about diving.
Hey, girl. Hey, Celery.
It's so funny because I was gonna bring both her and her sibling.
Oh,
But I tease. It's like me with little kids. I have a blast with them, but it takes me a minute to readjust because it's been so long. So there were puppies running
Ooh.
everywhere. I'm like, okay, I better
Yeah.
just do one. Say hi,
Do I have a blanket
friends.
over there?
She's adorable. Yeah, I was looking for the blanket. I don't see it.
We'll get him one of those old T-shirts.
there you go.
You're okay. Oh,
Oh,
you're interested.
Yeah, she's wagging her tail just a little bit. Tried to.
Here we go.
Say, oh, thank
Cuddle her
you.
up.
Oh,
Make her
there's some
feel
security.
safe.
There we go.
It's okay.
Hey, girl.
Oh, look at there. She loves her Vicky.
Friends.
Adoption first. Always a great, a better option, right?
Yes.
Adoption is your option. So,
His
how old is she? 4 months?
4 months.
4 months.
Oh
Good.
my God, she's just a baby.
So we tell everybody we have a couple litters right now in the rescue that are 5 weeks, 4 weeks that'll be coming up, and we really do have all ages, all sizes.
Okay. Oh my goodness
You're
gracious!
sweetest
She is
girl.
so cute.
How did you get this pair?
This we pulled from a shelter.
Okay,
For
good.
county shelter. Yep. So all of our most of our dogs we do pull from Onslow and surrounding counties that are just reach out to us. They're completely full. And we do owner surrenders on a case by case, but we're not an open intake. We
Sure.
always tell everybody your best bet is to go through the shelter and then we pull from there.
Hey,
She says,
now
"Hi,
she's
friend."
now she's getting
She's getting
warmer.
comfortable now.
Yeah, look at her.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, she's gonna be coming over here shortly. She knows
Oh,
I like
baby.
doggies.
Hi, pretty girl.
Well, since you were here last time, I don't think we had rescued a cat, but we have another cat now.
Oh, look at
yeah.
you go.
Oh yeah, well, it showed up in the backyard.
You got picked.
Well,
Tag
I got picked. 3 of our 4 are that way.
The word is spreading.
No, apparently. But anyway, you would have thought because she was totally emancipated.
Aw.
It was hungry, starving, and bones showing,
Oh,
and but she was extremely friendly.
yeah.
I mean, somebody put her out, or she escaped, and we tried. Nobody fessed it up, but she stayed in the neighborhood. She had been next door. We know that. Took off running from there. So she had been in this neighborhood right along this block or so. And when she got into our backyard, that was the end of that case, because went out and gave her some food. She just stayed right there, ate the food, took her some water. She drank the water. Want to come inside? So picked her up and she came right with me.
Now, if you need low-cost spay and neuter
been
services,
done.
we got you covered.
We
All right.
we already
I know
did it.
somebody looking for that.
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, yeah.
We-
Just go to our website.
Well, we wanted to. We gave it a week, and then made an appointment with the vet.
Yep.
And we got one on call.
Yep.
And we went over to see him and took her with her. My wife did. So Had her
That's
checked out to
awesome.
make sure there's no issues with her because
Yes.
had to keep her isolated because we have another cat.
Right.
So we kept her isolated for a week
Mm.
right down here. This was her room.
Aw.
She had the run of it.
Aw.
She stayed hidden from most people, but she had a good time.
Aw.
And now she is finally, and she moved up into another office and was confined there. Had the
Yes.
run of that office, and now she has the run of the house.
Mhm.
Haven't let her go outside yet because I don't want her to pick up any of her old habits and take off.
Right.
She can leap. Our big cat can't get over the fence back there, but because she just goes out all the time. But I don't trust this one yet.
Yeah.
It's only been a month.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah.
Let her get used to being home.
Oh,
And then she won't want to leave here.
That's the point. That's
Yep.
the whole idea.
Yep.
You got good food, good people.
He's
And,
saying hello. Say hi, friends.
Yeah. She's trying to talk on the microphone.
She's
So-
settled
was
down
cute.
a little bit. She's all snuggly
I'm gonna
now.
put her.
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah.
Much warmer. Much
I
more
wanted to
comfortable.
ask you too about a different dog. How's Darby doing?
Amazing.
Okay, he's doing good.
Amazing. Yes. Hopefully I'll be able to bring him soon.
Oh,
One
I
of
hope you
these.
can bring him in
So
here.
he's
Yeah.
with his foster right
And
now.
he's doing good.
He's
in the
doing
foster?
phenomenal. He's
Okay.
healed beautifully. He's a social butterfly.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, he's doing fantastic. So his skin is on the mend.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to check on him.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Let's talk about, for the folks who haven't listened before, about adoption first.
Yes.
You get your most of the animals from other
From-
sources, from
yes.
the shelters.
From shelters, we
Uh-huh.
pull from their euthanasia list.
Mhm.
So we typically take the ones that are high risk, either because of medical, like the little ones. Sometimes they don't have moms and they require bottle feed mom. And with shelters being with 10 puppies,
Yeah, that's tough.
that's too much, right? So we pull that with heartworm positive, the older ones.
Mhm.
So we always have a variety, but that's where we how we get our animals is we pull the ones that are on the chopping block.
And as soon as you get them ready, they're ready for adoption.
They are. So we have both foster and facility based.
Okay.
We have a licensed kennel facility and our fosters. We have about 100 foster families.
Okay, let's talk about the foster families. People you've screened,
Yep.
people that will come in and take them into kind of like a halfway house.
Correct. Ask Lee.
I'm a foster
know.
failure.
Some of them go to foster and never leave, and that's
Uh-huh.
okay. We have one of those
They
too.
just convert over.
Yes,
Okay, to
yeah. They
adoption.
just become adoptions. But
Oh.
yes, no, we have amazing, and they're all volunteers. So we cover all medical, all food, things like that.
Mhm.
We even have trainers within our group that if you have some things that you are trying to work on with the dog, and I always tell people, if you're going to adopt, obviously county shelters are wonderful.
Sure.
Yes.
But if you're not sure or you're worried, because people do say you never know what kind of dog you're going to get, and that's why I want to buy one and things like that, go use a foster-based rescue. We
Mhm.
have these dogs in our homes, in our families. We test them because they're in our lives.
Mhm.
So they become, we know we take usually the older ones or the ones that need a quieter house because that's our household setup. There's people with, newborns, people with toddlers, people with no kids, people with older kids, all within our foster network. And we learn about these animals. And same thing for our cats. Our cats go to foster too. So you kind of do know what you're getting, which
Sure.
is really nice. And all of us we do it because we love the animals. So we tend to work with them, train them, leash skills, walking skills, socialization. So if you're really concerned about what kind of dog you're going to get or what kind of cat,
Pre-screened, pre-trained.
yeah, exactly.
There you
It's
go.
really a neat process.
I
Look
wish-
at her.
She's
She is
making
so
eyes at you.
stinking cute.
She is
This
cute.
dog is
I'm going to
cute.
give y'all a bad story, something to warn all folks about, and they
Yeah.
need to be. If you're looking for a dog and there's somebody that is advertising they got a dog
Oh.
and they want to meet you somewhere or they want to meet you in a parking lot and they bring the
Mm.
dog. If said dog, first thing when you drive
wanna
up,
go
write the
sit with
license
me?
plate number down.
Yeah.
Because I know of a case,
Mhm.
I know of a case very well,
Okay.
about looking for the dog, figured this would be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Met the guy, and the guy wanted a certain amount of money, which was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dog was cute, listless a little bit. Was not very active, but you could figure that was up for maybe just nervous.
Mm-hmm.
No, the dog had been drugged,
Mm-hmm.
and when the drugs wore off, the dog was wild, coming down
my
from a high,
Mm-hmm.
coming down from drugs, and the dog was uncontrollable,
Mm-hmm.
vicious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that once the high wore off, that he or she, I can't remember what it was, but that's a story that you need to be aware of, folks.
Yeah.
Be very careful.
Yes.
And again, write the license plate number down of whoever is meeting you in a parking lot with a dog they want to sell you.
Yeah.
It's probably is going to be a stolen dog, was probably a great dog to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
They swiped it and put it up for sale. There are low-life scums out there.
There are.
Put an end to them.
Mm-hmm.
The police will arrest them.
Correct.
Animal control will investigate, but the cops are going to put them in jail
Mm-hmm.
if they find them stealing dogs. Come around here, you don't have to worry about the cops.
Yep.
I hear you on that.
Yeah.
Look, she's going to sleep.
Oh, well. How many does this make? 3?
Well, you got to get to sibling, so you'll have 4.
You can't
You
break
can't
up.
break up a
You can't
sibling
break up a
pair.
family.
I wish I had gotten El Chapo. What's
Oh.
his name now? Rocky.
Rocky, little
I wish I
Rocky
had gotten
is
him
doing
at the same time I
phenomenal.
got Paco.
Yeah. He's
I
got
just-
his perfect home.
I was. Oh yeah. I took a picture of him this morning
Okay.
before I left. He's up in the chair with Jack. Him and Jack
Oh,
are
look
such
at
buddies
ears.
now.
Yes.
His ears.
Yeah, they're such
Look
buddies
at him.
now.
Well,
He's a mess.
the last one we got was from right over here on Pine Valley. He'd been living there for a couple
Oh
months.
yeah, he looked a lot like El Chapo. Didn't
Oh
he?
yeah, that's how I got involved with them. Somebody thought it was El Chapo bebopping down the street.
Yeah.
So our vet's pretty sure that it's part of the whole group. He
You
just
still have
managed-
that one?
No, he got adopted yesterday.
Oh.
Yes, you're
Well,
saying
you got one right there.
That's because you're waiting for this one.
She's so pretty.
She
You
is.
guys are
She
trouble.
is sweet.
She is. She is
She's a
a
sweet
love
girl.
bug. She is gonna make somebody so happy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what can people do? Let's
Great.
just say they want to foster a dog.
Yeah.
What kind of people are you looking for? I know you do the screening.
Yep.
If they've already got pets,
Yep.
if
That's fine.
okay.
That's fine. You know, we have foster homes that have pets. We have foster homes that don't have pets,
Okay.
and we utilize both. It's really a simple process. You just go onto our website. You click on the corner, it says volunteer, and it gives you kind of the rundown of the foster. We have 2 volunteers that are our foster coordinators.
Okay.
And we try to break up the little sections so this way everybody has the go-to. Lee was in our group for a little while. Once you get, over 100 people, sometimes the Facebook groups get like the Wild West.
Sure.
So this way you have points of contact. So we have 2 people now that's all they do is handle the fostering. They do the application and screen. Oh, bless you. Bless you.
Might be allergic to cats.
Might be the pollen.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh,
We've had plenty
I
of
like
that.
how she's got little brown spots on her leg.
But
But,
yeah, so they just fill out that application, and then our foster coordinator gets up with them, and I've personally taken dogs that in 24 hours I'm like, this just is not a good fit for our family, and I take the dog back, and that's okay.
Okay.
And then we have where we started fostering, it was supposed to be my hobby.
Ooh, how's that working out?
Great. Great. The whole family is involved now, but it was just going to be my little hobby because the kids were getting older, and I brought our first foster home, and I never experienced fostering. It was different, but the foster coordinators were there to talk me through it.
Mhm.
And that was a few years ago. And, it's a really, really cool process.
Okay.
We've had some as little as a couple weeks and some almost a year. And it's nice because for us, our kids are grown. We like to travel. So we were able to, since we have the facility that is licensed and has people to take care of the dogs if we have to go out of town, or a lot of times our other fosters will say, oh yeah, I can take your dog for the weekend, bring
Sure.
them on over.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good. You just kind of like spreading your kids around.
exactly.
I really
Except
don't.
you're not quite as responsible for them.
I really thought you would end up keeping Rocky.
He was hard to let go.
You were so close to him.
I was. Rocky was one of the ones that I trapped. We named him El Chapo because he had been on the run for so long. And I like the feisty ones. He gave me a run for my money. He wanted to kind of eat my face off. And I said, we're doing this. We're going to be best friends. And he was just scared. So I worked with the trainer actually out of New Bern. She took him for about a week and a half for me
Really?
and taught me how to work him through his fear aggression. The same thing, all volunteer. And so Lauren with Canine Reflection and we worked with him, and oh my goodness, did I love that dog. And he loved me, but I tell you what, he loves his mama more.
Oh, I'm so glad.
They are
he's got a good home.
inseparable. Oh, it's a friend of mine adopted him.
Oh, wonderful.
She called me and she said, Vicki, she goes, I can't take it anymore. She goes, do you think my household would be good? I said, I think your household would be perfect. And she said, really? And I've told people when they've asked me about my fosters, do you think? I'm like, oh, this is not the one for you. There's
Sure.
definite, they were meant to be.
Now, I know you guys really screen for your adoptions and whatever.
We do.
I would think that one of the fears that you would have, that there are individuals out there, I want to adopt the dog, and I've already got 12 dogs
Mhm.
in the house. Well, that is probably a red flag.
Mhm.
So do you run into a lot of that?
We typically
We hear
don't.
about, we read about sooner or later, one day, probably every week, about the crazy lady with 400 cats in the house.
Right. No, we typically don't. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have 3, and we say, I used to say 2 was our max. That way we could foster 1. Now we have 3 as our max, and we can foster 1. But our kids are grown. So, it's like they're like our children now. But it really, we don't run into that because people who are looking for that don't really want to put in the time and the effort to go through the process. And it's not a horrible process. You fill out the application online. For all of our dogs, 6 months and up, they have a 1-week trial period. So you actually take the dog home, see how they fit in your family before you adopt them.
Mhm.
This way, if you get them home and you say, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, or this, my dog really doesn't like it, or my cat doesn't like it, or whatever, you just bring the dog back. It's so we find, and we have a great group. So most of our adopters stay in contact either with the rescue or with their fosters, and we get updates years down the road. It's a really, really fun process.
No, that's good. It's great to have an organization like yours. There are more animals out there that need your assistance.
There are.
So what can people do to help you along those lines besides becoming foster parents or whatever? How about money?
Money. Yes.
Okay, let's just talk about
Spay and neuter your pets. That's the first one.
Okay.
Right.
Encourage your friends to spay and neuter their pets,
Mhm.
because accidental litters happen all the time. It's as simple as you're out in the backyard with your dog, and a dog comes running up, and now you have 6 puppies.
Uh-huh.
It takes 2 seconds. Even if you only have one of them, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be the second one that comes along. So that's the biggest. And then, of course, if you're able to volunteer, obviously there's so many different moving parts within the rescue. There's the socialization, there's the fostering, there's doing laundry, there's helping with flyers. We have a couple volunteers are picking up AstroTurf in Pink Hill for us this weekend.
Nice.
So, there's literally something for everybody. We have a couple people who tinker around and put together our sheds and tighten up our screws. And then, of course, money, our current big project, the big dream end goal, it would be about $30,000, but phase 1 is $10,000 for a beautiful play yard. And not just a regular play yard, one that again, we have licensing that we have to follow with the state. We get inspected, all of that. We have to be able to make sure that we can completely sanitize it. So there's a lot of different things. When I say play yard, it's not a matter of just putting some stuff out in the grass for the dogs. But within that play yard, being able to create a training area, because we do have trainers that we're working towards, hopefully in the next year or so, being able to offer a couple of training classes with the adoption. So you adopt a new puppy, you get come to our facility, get a couple of training. You adopted an older dog, we have trainers that will work with you and offer that, because we want to make the complete package. It's not you just get a dog and good luck. Great. Everybody has a great home.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep.
So we're committed. So,
I like that.
we have
I do too.
fundraisers. Obviously, we will always take food donations. We'll always take monetary
What
donations.
kind of food are you looking for?
Always looking for canned kitten food, and puppy chow right now is big because we have the puppies. And our mama dogs eat the puppy chow for the extra calories. And then we have, coming up at the end of May, we have our bingo night. So if you want to contribute, but you want to do something fun, we have a Strut Your Mutt May 4th. We have bingo night on May 30th. So we're always doing something. There's something for everybody.
Check the flyers.
Posing for the
She
camera.
is. She says, hello, I'm here.
Check your flyers, folks out there, for your whatever stores that you like to attend, the big box stores that you like to go to, because they offer sales on food.
Yes.
When they offer sales on food, go take advantage of it. Buy a couple of cases.
Yeah.
If you don't have pets, go buy some cases of food.
And you can always send it directly to the rescue. Sometimes when Sam's has their sales on
Sure.
the dog chow, kitten chow, I just send it straight there. And, we're actually getting ready. So it's open 7 days a week, the pet food pantry. It's completely free. It's just we just want to help people. But what can we do to help people keep their pets? Life's hard. Things happen.
Sure.
How can we help you? And so we have that currently at the rescue 7 days a week. But in about a week, we'll have satellite locations opening up. So there's going to be one at Savvy's Pet Lodge in Hubert, and just where people can go in, grab the food. And if they have special, they can contact our pet food pantry through our website, and we will try to get that specific food for them. We'll do everything we can, and we're going to have some locations in Richlands and just kind of make it easy for people. So the pet food is a tremendous help, because it's not just helping the dogs within the rescue. It's going into our community.
That's good. Now, if they want to volunteer, give you a call or come on by.
Come on by.
Just come
We're
by.
there
That's
7
what we're
days a
doing.
week. You can also get on our website, fill out the volunteer application, and our volunteer coordinator and staff will
This-
contact you. We
this
try to
is-
make it easy.
This is Adoption First. You can find
Yes.
them Facebook. You can find them any way
I
you
put
yeah,
the
you can
links
find
on
them.
our page.
And the links are there. That's the easy way. Go to our Facebook page and you'll find it.
I put a picture of her on our page.
I would say, and if you're
too.
curious
Yeah.
what the socialization part of
Right.
volunteering looks like, this is it.
Yep.
Right.
This is
Handling
mama.
the animals, playing with them, loving them. We tell people all the time, bring, in the nice weather, bring a blanket and your laptop or a book. You can sit out in the yard and just hang with the pups and the kittens.
Yes, you do.
She says, "Oh, I love
And
you."
if you want to know what, if you don't know what to pick, sit down out there in the yard without picking one.
Yep.
And one's going to pick you.
Yes, yeah. And we have our staff is there 7 days a week. They know these animals. Our fosters know these animals. You can say, I'm looking for one. This is my lifestyle. And we can say, oh, we've got a couple for you. Like this one would be a good fit. And that's why we always tell people, be honest when you're filling out the application. You don't have a fence? Check no. Not a big deal. You work full time? No big deal. We have dogs, cats that love to lounge around. We're not going to, that's not a hindrance. Be honest with your lifestyle so we can find the best fit for you. We're not going to give you a dog that's a flight risk if you don't have a fence, because that's just extra stress and strain
Sure.
for everybody.
Yep.
It's
Oh, yeah.
okay if you don't have a fence. It's okay if you work full time. It's okay if you have little kids. It's okay if you travel. Like, tell us everything about your lifestyle on that application and let us help you find your perfect pet.
I would strongly suggest, because if I went to pick a dog or a cat, I wouldn't know what I wanted, because
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's like waiting for your kid. Is it going to be before it was born? Is it a male or female? I don't
Right.
care.
Right.
I have no.
She's already been
no
fixed
choices.
too.
Yes, she has. She's
But
been
if
fixed.
you're
She's
ready-
microchipped. She's ready.
If you go and just
Okay, Lee.
keep an open mind when you go and
Saying.
let the dog or cat come around, and you'll
Yeah.
find out when they start nuzzling you or keep
Yep.
coming back to you for the second and third visit, you're good to go.
You know.
Mhm.
You're good.
Yep.
You're fine.
And there she goes. She's ready for a little nap.
How many dogs do you have now, and how many cats do you have ready for adoption?
We have about 150 within the facility. So we're in the process of updating our website, but we do have all of our available and coming soon posted. And again, we're there 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. You can always stop in
Yeah, and you're located.
off of 114 Enterprise Street in Jacksonville behind Saigon Sam's and Onslow Audio.
Right there on Western
I
Boulevard.
know
Yep.
Western.
right where it is.
Yep.
Landmark for people who don't know.
Yep.
So just stick it in your GPS and go by there, 114 Enterprise,
Yep.
and it's what AutoZone is there, I think. Or-
Yeah.
Yeah. Little AutoZone is right around there. So it's actually an old daycare building.
Okay.
So, yep.
Oh,
We've
that's
got
perfect.
a great
It's
yard and great rooms.
Just about across the street from our old studio.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
So,
Vicki, thank you.
Oh, thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Celery-
We love
She
being
Celery's
here.
going to go home with Lee, and then she might come back later on.
if
Right?
she goes home with me, she's not going back anywhere.
Okay, well then,
Staying with.
good. Go stop by and pick up some more food on your way
Okay.
home.
I need to bring y'all some more food. I haven't
Bring
done that
food
recently.
and snuggle the pets.
Yes.
She says, "Oh, this is great." She's even got her little leg struck
That's
on.
it.
Oh yeah.
Forget about it.
She's. We're gonna switch her name to Toast. She's Toast over here.
She's toast.
She says, "Oh yeah."
She's a good baby girl.
She
Got any
is.
llamas?
No llamas.
Okay, just in
Check
case you,
with us next week. You never know.
Alpaca.
You know.
you just if you get
If you
one,
get an alpaca, call me.
I will.
alpaca.
Mhm.
I will. We do
How about a
get some
camel?
crazy,
Mhm.
and we try to tell them, we can't, but here's who can help you. So if
what
I
day
get,
is it?
yeah,
Mikey,
it is
Mikey,
hump
what day is it?
day.
Oh, I got a new one too. Lee, I haven't showed you this.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
She's got something else.
Because my friend.
You've got some
Look at his little zoomies.
Oh.
Little miniature pony.
yeah.
This is the cutest. Wait, here we go. Tell me that's not.
That is
Could
precious.
you tell me that's not cute? Look at him.
That's what you need,
Oh, my.
Rayford.
Isn't he cute?
What
Look,
happened
he's
to the
not big.
What happened to the rest of him?
He's a little miniature pony. He's got the little zoom. I have this video on my page of
Yeah,
this.
they use
Little
them for
miniature
service
pony.
animals.
Yeah, he gets his zoomies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Kelly, they still have bingo May 30th.
We
It's a
do.
bingo
I will be
fundraiser.
there.
Okay.
Yes.
This is the
I
rescue
never
cat.
win, but
Right.
Her
let's
name
see.
is Stormy. Came up when it was kind of messy
Oh,
outside.
we had
So
the yucky weather.
we were having yucky weather, and I'm not sure that she's gotten comfortable in the household yet. What do you
Oh
think?
yeah, I'm not quite sure she's fully comfortable.
She's got a very fluffy tail, by the way.
Yeah,
I
she-
saw
oh,
her the
yeah.
other day.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
She is beautiful. Her
She's
coloring is
become
gorgeous.
Rayford's cat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Immediately.
That's Rayford's girl.
I'm
Aw.
telling you, everyone, this is a sweet puppy right here. She is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
She calmed right down. She's all snuggled up. She's having a great time.
Yeah, I will tell everybody. I've at least had her holding her since
Oh,
Vicky
yeah.
got here, and
So-
she is she is a cuddle
calmed
bug.
right down.
If you're looking for a little lap dog,
Yes.
this is it. Get her sibling. You'll have one on each side because they're small. They're
Her
not gonna-
sibling is a little bit more wired.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. You
Boy
know,
or
there's a boy.
Okay.
Oh.
That's my problem right
I
now.
was
Jack
gonna
is
say,
wired.
I've met that one.
Yeah,
that's
Yep,
shock-
that's
yep,
shockwave.
Yes, yes,
He hates
yes.
everybody.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the breed.
right. He loves everybody. But yes, for those that are looking, this dog is super sweet.
Oh, she is.
And
a
there's
sweetie.
Stormy with just chilling.
Aw.
She's
Just-
got a fluffy tail,
She does. She's
So-
like a
gorgeous.
squirrel tail.
Thought it was a fox squirrel when I looked out the window and saw this thing running across the yard. Fox squirrels have
See the
big
little
tails.
tails. Yeah.
And I said, well, Lord of mercy, what in the world? It was a flash. So we went outside looking, and there she was hiding under the azaleas.
Aw. Well, thank you for taking her in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, she took us in.
Mhm.
Mm. So,
Yeah, you
she's
can
good
darn
now.
bet that the three of us here were avid animal
Mhm.
lovers.
All my
So,
dogs have been rescued.
Yeah. Mine too.
the reason
and
there's multi-million-dollar fences around here so we could have the dogs and the cat to run
I
free.
have two
Yeah.
fences. I have a chain link, and inside that I have a wood one.
Yeah.
I didn't take the chain link down just in case a section of the wood fell.
It's a smart idea.
And I put locks on my gates so they can't be opened and left open.
Oh, these got locks,
And I freak
as you
out
know.
after a storm, and I go out and I check everything to make sure there's no holes anywhere. And if they're outside too long, I go looking for them. I'm just an
Oh, you know what we
overprotective
got?
mama. Uh-oh.
I'm so excited. So the Phi tracking collars,
Yes.
I use them on my dogs. Not that they're runners, but we travel with them a lot. And I keep one on hand for my fosters because I typically get the tougher ones, and I'm just terrified if they take off. And especially after spending months trapping them, sometimes I'm like, if you leave, I'll lose my mind. So I keep one on hand. Well, I got up with them a couple weeks ago, and they are sending the Rescue 5 for completely covered with the satellite service for us to keep within the rescue to use on us. So
Nice.
Darby
Oh,
will
good.
be getting one.
Yay,
And then
for Darby.
they're offering to our adopters $20 for the collar and 6 months of
Wow.
service to help with that transition
Really?
for some of our higher risk
Well, I'm glad you brought that up,
dogs.
Vicki,
Yeah.
because I know that, like Paco, he was chipped,
Yeah.
and it wasn't long after that this company that did the chipping or whatever
Mhm.
went down, and a lot of the IDs were lost. Did that affect the
No.
company that you use?
No. So our vet and the vet staff was very particular in the one that they chose.
Good.
AKC Reunite has been around. They're not going anywhere. There is, for those that were affected or even those who weren't, there is a free microchip registration company that you can do any chip. You can register the information with them.
Great.
You don't have to pay.
Great.
But yeah, in our AKC Reunite chips, that comes with the dog. And it's for the life of the dog. You don't have to
Right.
worry about
Good.
ever renewing that.
Well, I'm glad people are concerned about the critters.
Yes, me too.
They're our critters. All
Me
right.
too.
Vicki, thank you.
I'm gonna try to peel this one off.
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta
don't
let-
fuss
She
with
Let her
is
go.
molded to Lee's
It's okay.
body.
She will.
Lee
Lee
will
will
be
take it
calling
by
you
there
at
later today.
9:05. You'll be getting a phone call.
Lee will just leave her here. Lee will take her to you in a little while.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second.
You'll never see her again.
She's mine.
Just make
The
a
good
copy.
news is that Leaf already filled out a foster application.
That's
We know
right.
where she lives.
That's right.
We'll
That's
just
right.
bring her the
Yeah,
forms.
bring SWAT to the house. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
they
doesn't
have
look
all
like
my
she
goods.
wants to leave you.
Oh, no,
Look
you're
at
done.
her.
This is
She's
when the
super
fight
cute.
begins.
Look at her.
Y'all are so ridiculous.
Y'all are killing me.
Yeah.
It hurts me. Look at, she's like, oh, it's you.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
there she is.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah.
I'll just slide
Look,
right
she's
back
coming
over.
back over to
Oh,
Lee.
no.
She's coming
Really?
right back over to Lee.
Yes, she is. She just melted right
Look,
over.
Lee, she's like,
You want to take me away from her?
Next time, bring a great big brute of a dog.
well,
Yeah.
that's what I
Hopefully
like.
next time we'll bring Darby.
I'll bring Darby.
We'll
Yep.
see how
Yeah,
it
that
goes.
Kelly
Bring
needs Darby.
I want Darby, but I just don't know that
Have
I'm
you
ready
met
yet.
him yet?
No, only just paid for it. But
Oh.
All right, guys. Adoption first. Check the website. Check our Facebook page. You can get all the links on there that you need.
and they are a
probably
good
more.
group.
And
Yes.
they are a good group. You've heard from them several times on here, and they are. What do they call that?
Goodbye, pups.
Recommended. We recommend
I
them
would
highly.
highly recommend
We
them. Yes.
highly recommend
Highly,
them. So-
highly.
Yes.
I've been in there several times. I've seen their setup, their
Certified,
operation, and
ready to roll.
it's wonderful,
Yeah.
Mhm. They
wonderful.
have a good foster program.
Yeah.
My daughter's sister-in-law fosters, and one of her childhood friends fosters for them. So I just how I know I could never be a foster.
She does not want to go.
No, she doesn't. She's-
for a car ride. I'll pass.
She's like, I'm mad now.
Yeah, because you took me from Lee. See, Lee?
Uh-huh.
That's what happened. So I did, folks. I did put the picture of this
See
sweet
you
doggy
soon.
on our Facebook page. Bye, pup.
So if you beat
Bye,
Lee over
Celery.
there,
Yeah.
she'll be there about 9:15 this morning.
I'm
So
leaving now.
If you want to, if you would like this dog, this is like one of those 1 in 100. I can tell you. Right
And it
now.
has a sibling, but like
Sweet.
Vicky said, this dog's not going to get hardly any bigger. So the size
This
you
was
saw
great.
today is
And I
the
love
size
small
of the pup.
dogs.
Yeah.
The
This
one
is-
I adopted, Paco, he's about 9 pounds,
Mhm.
and I feed him good, but
Paco's big ears.
he's
He has
he's a
big
little dog.
ears.
I'm gonna bring him in one
They
day.
call him mule ears.
Yeah, he is adorable. He is funny, and he sticks right to me. He won't go to sleep at night. If my other dog, Jack, gets right up against me, Paco will climb over him to lay on me so he can be the closest. It's a thing with him. So crazy
Sibling
dog.
rivalry.
Crazy dog.
Offshore today, northwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, frequent gusts to 25, becoming westerly 10 to 15 this afternoon. 3 to 5 footers subsiding to 2 to 3 in the afternoon. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop this afternoon. Tomorrow, northerly winds coming down 5 to 10, becoming easterly in the afternoon. Seas only around 2 feet. They're 4 seconds apart, a little choppy, but not bad. Friday, southeasterly winds 5 to 10, becoming southerly 10 to 15 in the afternoon. Seas around 2 feet. Sounds kind of nice, but they will only be 3 seconds apart, meaning a little bit choppy. You got the right size boat for it, and you got the experience, no problem. Sounds and rivers a light chop, increasing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Friday, headed for the weekend.
Today, I'm just looking at this forecast. Sunny, high of 70. I was making sure that wasn't going to do anything on Sunday, but it's not. We will have 21-mile-an-hour gusts today. And understand, I have not heard that our burn ban is lifted, folks. So please don't burn.
Use common sense
Yeah, well,
regardless of
people,
the burn ban.
but we actually have to
I
say
know.
don't burn because
I know
people
that.
don't use common sense sometimes. Tonight, it will be clear. When it's clear, it's a little chilly, a low of 41. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 72. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 46. And on Friday, the warm-up begins, sunny, high of 77, but the winds are going to gust back up again.
All right, real quick before we go any further, and thank you, weather girl. That's a great weather.
Weather girl?
Weather girl. She's
Did
a
she
weather
call you a
girl.
weather girl?
The weather girl.
Whether or not
Good.
she does it. Chris Miller's calling now instead of tomorrow because he will be out of town tomorrow. And so he's on the phone now.
Wow.
So we're having Miller time a little early.
Miller time.
Miller
It's
time.
Miller time. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Hey, good morning, my friends. How's everybody doing this morning?
Hey.
Fine. You want another dog? You need to head on over
Oh,
to
man.
what? You need to
That is the
run,
sweetest baby.
No, thank you. We have 2 dogs already and a bunny
2 dogs and a what?
and a rabbit.
A rabbit.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I could have gotten you some more rabbits the other day. We had 3.
No, thank you. But did have a ferret many years ago, so that was kind of an interesting
Oh.
pet to have.
Those
And then,
things. Phew.
And Lee, tell me about that pet snake you had.
Yeah, right. Right now, my son-in-law was out walking the streets in the neighborhood last night, and it was right at dusk.
Why?
He does a lot of walking, and almost stepped on a copperhead. He sent me the picture of it. But I'm like, y'all need to quit talking about snakes because there's some wood piles in the back of my yard that I need to clean up. And now
You might
I'm
as well
so
wait now.
petrified.
You just need to wait till winter.
Well, they've been there since last summer.
She's been doing that for 2
Been
winters.
doing it, waiting.
Sports wise, what we got? Where are you going? You going to leave town?
Well, yeah, we're actually going to take a couple days off Thursday and Friday, enjoy the rest of spring break with my family. So we're today's the last day of the Richlands baseball tournament. So I wanted to call in and let y'all know that your Jacksonville Cardinals will be playing the Southwest Stallions tonight at 7:00 at Richlands High School in the tournament finals. So this is not like a playoff tournament. This is just kind of like a spring break tournament that they have every year that has a lot of all the county teams in it. But the Cardinals will be playing the Stallions tonight at 7 in the final game. So if people want to come out and see some good baseball, come
That
out.
should be great.
Well,
Should be, yes.
Chris, I got a question for you. So I just happened to look on here and it popped up. It's so creepy about, I think phones do listen to us. Swansboro High School has formed the first male volleyball team for Onslow County in the public school system.
Yep. I had a story on this earlier this week. They are the first public school team in Onslow County to have a male volleyball team. It's kind of been in the works for the last year or so, and they've had a lot of interest, and people step up to be coaches, and the administration was receptive to it, and they got the ball rolling, and they're doing pretty well. So it's very different. It's a you don't see a lot of other teams, schools have that. You do see, I think Liverwater Christian has a boys volleyball team, Jacksonville Christian. So some of the private schools have them. Excuse me. But Swansboro is the first public school, and they seem to enjoy it, and they were really excited that we were doing a story on that, and very excited about it. So I think it's a good situation, and they're hoping that maybe other schools will join in and spark some interest in male volleyball as well.
Wow.
If anybody's interested in learning more about that, well, I posted that yesterday on our radio page, the story about the volleyball team. It was a great story, Chris. You did a great job.
I think it's awesome. So who are they playing? Other schools?
Yeah,
I'm
they're
reading
playing
it.
other
I'm reading
schools.
it now. Okay.
Yeah, West Craven High School in Craven County has a team. New Bern High School has a team for the first time, and they've played a couple of the private schools, throughout the region as well. So they're going to play more of them down the road as well. So it's again, they're the only public school team, so they're not going to be playing like White Oak and Jacksonville.
Right.
These schools don't have a team, but there's enough teams, like I said, New Bern and some private schools that they've been able to compete against. I think they've won 4 and lost 2, and
Wow.
so they've done pretty well.
I would like to see some of the other schools pick
That's
this up
pretty
too, because I
cool.
think this is awesome. I think it's a good thing.
I do too.
Well, I'm all for the opportunity, for our young people, and I think
Yeah.
I remember doing a story quite a few years ago when the private school teams were introducing male volleyball, and I talked to a couple of the kids about hey, why did you want to play, and what does it mean to you, and just the you could tell it meant a lot to them, and they really couldn't find a sport that really was them. An after-school activity that was them. Then they were introduced with volleyball, and they fell in love with it, and it helped them, with their grades, and helped them, with other aspects in their life. So it's that's what high school sports is all about, giving these opportunity to kind of maybe learn about themselves, learn about teamwork, how to win, how to lose, and how to sportsmanship and things like that. So it's any opportunity we can to give our young people these life lessons and these learning tools, I'm all for.
Me too.
What's so good is that today, this day and time, there's such a variety of sports available. You're not saddled with if you're not cut out for football, take it. You're not don't want to participate in it. Maybe you're not good enough. If you're 4'3" tall, you're probably not going to do well on the basketball court. That's just the way things are. You might have not be able to run real fast. So track is not a real good deal for you. Baseball, some people are kind of clumsy, but there may be something else out there that really does interest you. Volleyball, I could understand. That could be fun.
Well, the U.S.
Fun in addition to being good exercise.
Well, the U.S. men's basketball volleyball team has won more Olympic golds than any other team. So I think it's awesome. I'd love to see this expand to other Onslow County schools. I would really like to see that.
I think it's awesome, yeah.
I think it's amazing.
And then speaking of new sports, we I think it's still going to take a little bit of a time, for it to make a bigger impact here in Onslow County. But girls, flag football is continues to climb. The interest numbers in young ladies wanting to play flag football continue to grow, and you've had some high schools, especially in the Charlotte and Raleigh areas, Wilmington areas, that have had some teams and gone off to play in some high school tournaments. And again, just here in Onslow County, I think it will be a slow process for the interest level to raise at a high level here. But if we do get that interest level, that's a wonderful opportunity for the young ladies to learn the game of football.
Sure.
And, of course, if some people had their way, football would be banned overall. So wink, wink, hint, hint. But
Wow.
but this is an opportunity. This would be a great opportunity for the young ladies to learn the game a little bit, and and play, and get to know the rules. The rules, and again, just if you don't want to play basketball, you don't want to play soccer, softball, ladies volleyball, and you do flag football, then again, more opportunities for our young people, the better.
And I think with the ladies playing flag football, I think all of the cheerleaders should learn to play flag football for Jacksonville, because next year when the
No, they cannot run out onto the field and pick up the yellow flags.
no, you need to grab it out of the pockets of those referees first.
Oh my
Just run by,
Lord.
grab it and run with it.
I knew that was coming. No, they can't do that, Ray.
It'd be great training for them.
Like, I like that flag football. Yeah, I understand. I mean,
Hey,
what?
so I swear you're gonna have nightmares about these yellow flags.
I
For
do.
the first of the season, we sat there counted
Holy
one game.
crap.
What was it, like 20, 30? I don't know. It
I
seemed
just
like
need
it.
to have those uniforms so we can put safety pins and pin those flags to the pants
Oh, yeah.
so they can't come out. There you go.
We could get some ref uniforms and run out there and
Yeah, we could act
you're
like we're
out.
Yeah, you're
We're
fired.
in.
All right, Chris. Well, have a good time on your spring break.
Yes. Have a great
Well,
time.
No, thank you. Y'all keep up the good work that y'all are doing. I appreciate y'all let me call in today and promote the baseball tournament. And
Anytime.
Yes.
yeah, and then you guys have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, you got it.
You
Take care. Be
too.
safe, wherever you're going.
And for those that like to follow people on X, formerly known as Twitter, you can follow Chris at Chris Miller at JDN Sports. And whenever there's a game, he's out there tweeting from the field.
Yep.
And you can get
Keeping
up to date
everybody up to
sports.
date
He's got
live.
pictures and he's got videos too. So that's doing. Like whenever we couldn't go to a football game,
Yeah, that's how we
I
found
kept
out.
up with it by following Chris. So
Rayford, I got I just happened to see this. It popped up.
Mhm.
The most bizarre thing I've read in a little while, and y'all know I read some bizarre stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's in Yarmouthport, Massachusetts. You're gonna love this. I'm trying to figure out what provoked this, and I really know more of this story. So the headline reads: Massachusetts man in a gas mask pepper sprays officers in a courthouse. This guy came in wearing a gas mask and tactical gear. He
Oh,
came
really?
in Monday. It's a suburb of Boston. Yarmouthport's a suburb.
He's still in jail?
He entered the Woburn District Court. He deployed pepper spray at multiple court officers, a police officer, and an ADA.
Rippo.
He had on helmet, gas mask, tactical boots, and sunglasses. He walked up to the building. Then he just barges
How
in
did
and
he get that
starts.
far?
From outside, he just walked in. He barges into the courthouse and starts spraying. So then the other officers tackled him to the ground, and he punched, shoved, and assaulted multiple people before they had to dogpile him. And several officers finally subduing, spraying everybody he could. Him, the police officer, and 2 court officers were taken to the hospital and treated. He had 8 canisters of pepper spray and 2 smoke canisters. I don't know what he intended to use those for in his possession, according to the DA. And it gets better. The district attorney claims this is the 3rd serious incident at the courthouse since March 10th. I don't know what's going on with this
Where was your
courthouse.
security outside?
Yeah. So then this guy, he was charged with, I love this, 6 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, 5 counts of assault and battery on a public employee, 2 counts of assault and battery on a police officer, assault, disrupting a court proceeding, disorderly conduct, bomb threat, and intimidation. He's currently being,
Felonious stupidity, too.
he was arraigned, and they have not only have they revoked his bail, the judge ordered him to go to a competency evaluation. He goes back to court May 2nd. There's a whole video of this and everything. I mean, I don't know what this dude's deal in life is, but
I'm surprised he did not
Stupidity.
end up with some of the electricity flowing through his
I
veins.
agree. I think they were
Stupidity.
probably A, trying to see, and B, I mean, this video, he is spraying the lady in this first one as he is still outside. Like, she opened the door to the courthouse. So I don't know if this is like a front door. It almost makes me think it's not, because it shows her, a court person, definitely holding the door open, and he's already spraying as he's walking up to her. Now,
Dude, you're absolutely lucky somebody didn't pop a cap on you.
I agree.
I'm going to tell you what, there's a time that I would have considered him
Yeah, a threat. Yes.
Not is he wired with an explosive device?
Right.
What's he in here for? Preventative
like that.
maintenance.
Yes, I'm
sorry.
hearing it.
You do. I probably would not.
Craziness.
Nobody would have testified against you.
No.
You are not wrong. I mean, this is what is happening. I think there's got to be a backstory. But my other thing I'd like to know is 3 incidents since
Yeah.
March. What are the other 2? Now I want to know.
I would suggest that the judge in there take some action and say, whoever's involved with their security of that place, y'all need to tighten this mess up.
Yeah,
Do I have to call the
Definitely.
National Guard? Or can you
I
handle
agree
it?
with you. Yeah, I mean, what's
If
happening?
y'all can't handle it, I call the National Guard.
I agree. You can't argue that because let me tell you why. One more very quick story, and this is a illegal immigrant story.
Oh God, my
Yep.
favorite.
Yep. So headlines. You're going to like this
They're
one.
not
This
immigrants; they're aliens.
Massachusetts again. Previously deported Brazilian woman charged with sex crimes against a kid. So she was here illegally. She was Monday. They reported that she's been finally handed over to federal custody. She was arrested in Falmouth, which is it's south of Boston, about 70 miles or so. They arrested her on March 20th, and she was arrested by ICE, the FBI, and ATF, and she's 53. I can't even pronounce her name. But she was charged with 7 different crimes regarding the sexual victimization of a child in
No.
Massachusetts.
No.
So here's what happened. In September 20th of
Salem witch
2007,
trials.
she illegally entered the U.S. near Laredo, Texas. That's 2007.
Wow.
Okay, December 27th of 2007, she was served with a notice and order of removal, and she was deported. Okay, September, October, so like roughly 3 months after. Somewhere between December 27th, 2007, and now, she re-entered the U.S. illegally. They don't know when or what location she came back in on. She's not telling them anything, which that's not even a
So
shot.
there's no paperwork, of course.
No, there would
So
not
she
be.
sneaked in.
So on March 18th, she was arraigned in a Falmouth court by local people. Rape of a child, reckless endangerment of a
Really?
child, indecent exposure, indecent assault and battery on a child under 14, unnatural acts with a child, and aggravated statutory rape of a child and incest.
Incest.
Yeah. So it must be somebody she knows.
Uh-huh.
So last week, the U.S. Marshal took her and will be prosecuted for illegal entry into the U.S. after being deported. Forget all that. Get her on all this rape, whatever, at this point. I mean, she's going to
But-
come back.
But then we have to keep her.
I think unless they throw her in the
El
Salvadorian
Salvador.
prison, she's going to be back anyway,
Yeah.
committing more heinous crimes, being a dirtbag human and everything else. So they're going to have to send her. But I don't think does that Salvadoran prison take women? I don't think it does.
Disguise her.
I don't.
Call her a
look,
man.
I got a picture. I shouldn't say this.
Did
Maybe
you see?
don't have to disguise her.
I don't know. It's hard to say. But this is just frustrating that once
It
again
is.
we've got these Democrat
We got the laws,
people
and
saying,
we haven't been
you know,
using them.
freedom, whatever, and they're committing heinous crimes against children. So I don't want to hear the song and dance of the United States is deporting people and she had already been deported once and came back. That didn't even work out well, and now committed a crime. And as a therapist, I'm here to tell you, a lot of times children that are sexually abused like that, they're in therapy for the rest of their life. I mean, this is traumatic. Like, I think just deporting her is not good enough because she's going to come back. So let's figure out where we can put her that she won't do this to anybody else. This is sick.
Devil's Island.
Is it even open now? Let's
No,
reopen it.
We can reopen it.
Let's
Not a problem.
reopen it.
That's isolation on Devil's Island. Oh, Lord,
That'd be a good
that'd be a
punishment.
great one.
She can't hurt anybody.
Well, we talked very briefly about this pastor, 34-year-old Josh Sullivan out of Tennessee. He's been preaching out there in South Africa in the Eastern Cape
yeah.
province.
Yes.
He was kidnapped.
Yeah.
Well, he's been freed.
Yes.
A
Huge
deadly
shootout.
shootout
Yeah.
yesterday at a house, and I'm not even going to go try to do nothing. Just
Yeah.
too many vowels in it.
Yeah.
The Directorate for Priority Investigations released a statement announcing that an operation led by the agency resulted in the successful rescue of the American pastor who was kidnapped. They didn't release his name, but it's been revealed before. Don't know what the big deal was kidnapping unless they were doing whatever. Police said they received a tip that Sullivan was inside a safe house. When they arrived at the home, the people, some guys in a car on the premises, began firing at law enforcement, and they attempted to get away. Then the police shoot back.
Oh, I can't wait to see that movie.
The three
Yeah.
unidentified individuals, they're no longer with us. Dearly departed. Good riddance.
And do you believe in karma? Letitia James is getting
I
a
know.
taste of
I
it,
saw
so
that.
we'll
What's
have to
happening
talk
to
about
her?
that tomorrow. Well, it's been alleged that she committed mortgage fraud.
Yeah,
Pretty much same thing she accused Trump of, and now
it's coming back
it's coming back to haunt her because it's been uncovered.
on a federal level.
Right, where she has claimed certain things on residences that weren't quite true in order to get a more favorable loan.
So what goes around comes around, y'all.
Karma.
Karma is there. Now, Lee Wrong is going to be checking the TSA and other requirements between now and tomorrow in 22 hours.
I'm not doing
She's
another
going-
thing.
She's
with
going
it.
to
I don't
reveal to us
care
how wrong
what
that Lee
you
Wrong really was
No,
today.
no. In fact, I
You
just
do
had
not
it,
need a driver's license or any other ID other than a passport if you're going to be traveling on an airplane or domestically or internationally. Domestically, you do not have to have a passport, but you do have to have a state ID with
all I did
That's
was
special
read
ID.
this one sentence, and it says, individuals with a real ID still require a passport for international travel.
that doesn't mean you have to have both.
And he argued with me and said, I'm interpreting it wrong.
You,
Wait a minute.
you interpret
Read
it
that
as
to me
both.
again.
It says individuals with a real ID still require a passport for international travel.
Well, how I read that to be is even though you may have a real ID, if you want to travel internationally, you better have a passport.
And also, let me just read it to
That's
you.
what I
Let
said.
me read it to you this way. If individuals with a hunting license from North Carolina still have to have a passport to travel internationally. It's the same thing. The passport is all of it.
All I did
The
was
hunting
read. He
license-
said, I'm interpreting it wrong. I'm like, well,
Well-
I'm just reading what it said.
I gotta come up with a plan to get my license renewed, y'all. So
Well,
My friend went
Just
yesterday.
the judge will help you out when you go to
It
court.
took him a little over an hour, but he was able to get his.
he went
renewed.
yesterday. Where did he
Yeah,
go?
He went Moorhead.
Well, I need to know where that is. Okay.
Moorhead.
No, I mean the address of the place. I know
Right.
where Moorhead is.
NC
Right.
driver's license office, Moorhead.
But
Google
he said it's. I don't know if Yadkinville's still open, Kelly.
I may have, but that's June. Like my thing expires on
May 15th,
May 15th.
is your birthday, right?
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Well, that's when it
Yeah.
expires.
Mine expires 2027, so I have all next year
When-
to worry about it.
Well,
can't- 'cause-
next year, when in 2027?
January
Yeah.
1st of 2027.
Yeah, you better worry
so-
about it next year. I would start
so-
probably first of the year and get my appointment.
Well, let me say this, and I've kicked myself for this, so I'm gonna put it out there
It'll be
leave for
done.
you.
Right.
Back in January, I remember getting an email from the DMV saying you can renew your license online, and I
Mhm.
did not do it because I thought, well, this is January. I've got till May. I'm good.
Yeah, I know.
So if for those folks that have looked far enough out, at least, well, you already looked, you can't do it now.
Well,
but-
yeah, I'm too far up. But
Yeah.
my friend went online too, and
Yeah.
he just got his.
Did it say
this
when you
week.
could do it? Let's
It
get some
just said do
information
it
from
then
people.
at that moment.
No,
Yeah.
for Lee.
Yeah.
You've looked and you cannot do it now. Does it say when you can do it?
90 days, within 90 days.
Okay, so 90 days, you need to put it on your calendar.
But mine,
But you
I-
need to have an appointment before then.
But I could have done it online. I wouldn't have had to do anything.
You know what?
And I
I'm
didn't
not
do it,
even
Rayford.
gonna-
I'm kicking myself for this.
I'm
You
not
just
even
don't
going to worry
know.
about it because everything could change between now and
That's
then.
all right. Robbing can drive you around till you can get a valid license.
But I got-
Well, you know, with
Driving Miss Kelly.
with this real ID
Give him a little
deadline,
hat, you know?
I just
with
Driving
the-
Miss Kelly.
with the real ID deadline, most of it should be pretty much calmed down by the time I get ready to go renew mine. So.
All right, well, I'm going to work.
Just
All
get a
right.
passport. Don't worry
They're
about it.
Texting me from work. I gotta go.
Okay, we will see you tomorrow morning, and
I still have to have a license to
Leah will
drive.
come back with a dog tomorrow.
Yeah.
She'll have a new dog tomorrow morning. That we already know. Go ahead and get that dog.
I don't know. I'm still trying to get Paco's. He's crazy. That dog is
He'll want a
wired.
female.
just go foster this little girl, okay?
Yeah,
Just foster her
But you know,
for
I'm a
few days.
failure at that.
we know. That's why we're
keep
saying go ahead and
trying.
get the dog.
If at first you fail,
Yeah,
keep trying.
Keep trying.
I'll have so many dogs by the end of the
She'll
summer.
have that.
They'll be calling me the dog lady.
That's okay.
Dog pony face.
Yeah.
That made me think of what Biden said. Dog pony face. Is that what he
What?
said?
He said that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not surprised by it.
For
No one
what?
said it, but
it was at one of his things back a while
dog
back.
pony. I got to
Dog-
look that. I don't.
I
know.
just
gotta look
started thinking
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
See,
Well,
she's grief
just
stricken
go
right now. that
check
this
the
dog
TSA
lives.
I have
requirements and get over it.
Stop.
We will
All right,
see
bye,
you
guys.
tomorrow morning at 7
I'm not
o'clock.
going anywhere
Have
internationally.
a great rest of your day. Be safe. See ya.